Welcome to the Downtown Download virtual podcast, where we hear from our members and learn something new about downtown. This podcast is brought to you by the law firm of Carlson, Black, O'Callaghan, and Battenberg, located in downtown Madison. Carlson Black specializes in commercial real estate, business, and tax law. Carlson Black is proud to represent many DMI members in building a vibrant and inclusive downtown. Hello again, everyone. It's Jason Elster, president of Downtown Madison, Inc., with another issue, this episode, we can call it an episode of the Downtown Download. Today, we are doing something different. We are very excited about a new project that is being proposed downtown that is very different than anything we've seen here. We're going to find out more about this project, why it's important for downtown, why it's different, and how it fits in with so many of the important things that are happening here in Madison. The project is 216 South Hamilton Street, the Luminous, and we've got the architect and the developer of the project. First, we've got Chris Gosh of Populence, and next we have Jason Iverson, principal at Realty for Good. Hello, Chris. Hello, Jason. How are you guys doing today?
Doing great.
Good. Chris, we got you on mute, but we'll just assume that
you said good.
He thinks everything is good. So we are excited about this new idea with the podcast to talk about important development, important projects that are happening in downtown, and we are thrilled to have this as the first project because this is something special downtown. So we're going to start off. Chris, you're the architect. Tell us about this project and tell us why it's so important.
Okay, well, thanks for having us on. This is actually really interesting to talk about. There's so many issues kind of tied up in this relatively small project. There's a lot of these smaller sort of infill parcels spread throughout downtown, and the challenge is how do we find something to fit on there that still makes sense from a land use perspective, that makes sense from just an overall user perspective. So this site is not very big. It's in the middle of the block. There's an existing old single-family home on there, and it was converted back in the late 40s, early 50s. What's the usefulness of that? Well, I talked to Jason, who owns the property, quite a bit over the past few years, and there's a really interesting history that you can track that the uses downtown, particularly the zoning code, has moved beyond this sort of single-family house use for downtown, recognizing that there has been a lot of growth and evolution in the way people use downtowns. So if we were to propose a single-family house on that site right now, it would not be allowed in any way. So we started looking at that. Excuse me, looking at the density, the uses. What could we do to complement and make a nice project that would benefit the neighborhood and also give the eventual users a really nice place to call home or to call it a place where they work. So over the past year, which has been really interesting, is that we have seen a lot of changes in how people view working and living, and Jason and I have just been involved in so many conversations about this and what's going to happen when we move forward, what should happen when we move forward, and what has been broken. I mean, we don't want to go back to 2019 because frankly there are a lot of things weren't that great about 2019 in the way that we were approaching a lot of these attitudes towards living. So, the commute, number one, that's one thing that we just hear over and over again. People don't want to go to work because they don't want the commute. Well, right now, we have been kicking around live-work ideas that aren't really, aren't necessarily popular in Madison, but they are elsewhere. Well, this is a great opportunity, right? So this is a way to combine those two things, have a dedicated workspace, dedicated live space, right downtown. It's a fantastic opportunity. You're still in close proximity to all the resources and amenities of being downtown. And we started looking at that a lot more closely to see if it would work. And through the past 6 to 8 months, like, hey, this is actually a really reasonable and what we think a nice complement to downtown. So yeah, the project isn't as big as a lot of other ones that are going through the pipeline here, but we feel it's a really missing piece that again complements what else is going on down here. So we're really excited to give this option to the city here.
So, one thing I would love to see is now we've got this ability to do video podcasts is I would love to see the project, and Chris and Jason, if you could go over the details of this project. The design is different. It's stunning. It's modern. It fits very well within the area that has a lot of development already right next door to it. Barracuda, the condominium building just went up. The building at the bottom of the street at Wilson, Henry, and Hamilton was just approved for 200 units. So let's see some pictures of this building and see how it kind of fits into downtown and why this is so important for our downtown.
So the site is zoned UMX, and there certainly could be more height to this. I mean, that's allowed per the code. We decided that given the small the small footprint of the site, it's a little more than 4,000 square feet. Let's do something that feels comfortable on there. We don't want to necessarily jam as much on there. We do like to have these projects breathe a little bit, and it was enough for us to get 4 really, really nice units on there. Now, this project in particular was, we wanted to kind of challenge ourselves because it does fit into the existing zoning and number of units without a conditional use, which is part of that very robust conversation at the council meeting this week, and we wanted to I guess demonstrate that we could do a viable project on an infill site excuse me, and still have it be successful, and we firmly believe that the having this live work component as the as the primary use is the way that things are moving. I mean, the reaction against going back to the workplace, the ability to have separated work areas from living areas. This is just the next step in what we feel is a smart natural evolution towards rethinking some of the ways that we have been living, which we think is just going to be a benefit to everybody.
And Jason, I think when you probably started this project, you were thinking, you had one idea of what work would look like. That probably was completely turned upside down under COVID. And now really anyone almost can work in that place that has the ability to work from home. There's many jobs, of course, in our system that you have to work at their location. But now it has changed somewhat. So Jason, who do you see sort of participating in this and in these units? What kind of businesses are going to turn in?
So when we originally looked at this project, we thought that commercial was probably the best use for this. 2020 obviously changed that perspective, like Chris had mentioned. And I apologize, I have a very hoarse voice today. But when we started looking at this, we started looking at what downtown needs. There aren't a lot of small type mom and pop shops. There aren't a lot of small offices. There's shared workspace. There's some opportunities there. We could see a coffee shop in here. We could see a hairdressing studio in here, where those individuals can also live in this space. Because of the zoning, there's all kinds of uses, pretty much unlimited opportunity with these units. There is actually a small commercial only space here too, 200 square feet, where there's a potential like food kiosk. Chris can explain that better. I haven't had those conversations, but we really want to, we do envision that 1 or 2 of these units will probably end up being mostly a live condo. So a live, if you will. But we really do want to see, we are hoping we can find an opportunity to put, whether it's a work type opportunity or someone who truly does maybe have a hairdressing studio, coffee shop, something like that, and then use the upstairs to live. So, they're super flexible. And we do want to, we do want this project to create traffic as well and kind of liven up that corner of the neighborhood.
Yeah, so how do you see that fitting in? It's a great question. How do you see it fitting in with the other projects that are going up now in this kind of amazing gateway up Hamilton Street to the Capitol? How does it fit into the transportation infrastructure, the sort of neighborhood vibe, and sort of that walkability that is so important for downtown?
Chris? Me?
Yeah, so I can answer that. I think that by adding activity at the street level, giving more opportunities for either a street level walk-in office or having people coming and going to meetings there, anything to strengthen the street traffic. There are some commercial spaces in the Barracuda. There's 2 office spaces, one on Hamilton and one right on the peak down on West Wilson. We just really see it strengthening the streetscape going up Hamilton. Now the courthouse across the street, that's a really interesting. What's the best way to put that? It's it's an interesting use because right around 4:30, there's no one there. I mean everything clears out. There's nobody walking on that side of the street. Utilizing the courthouse, it gets extremely quiet down. And even during the day, there's sporadic users, but this is really it's a little, you wouldn't think of this being so close to the Capitol, but it's a little hidden gem of a street because the courthouse drives some traffic, but when the courthouse is closed, it is really quiet and nice down here. So, from the Capitol down to Lake Monona, we would really like to keep reinforcing this street level use and activity and visibility of activity as well. So, that's what we're also excited about. We want to create something that's lively and that is a reaction against the courthouse that is dead at 4:30.
It's also pretty busy street. That's a pretty main thoroughfare into downtown. So the visibility for these spaces is pretty high too.
Well, and Jason, you have some pretty innovative thoughts about development, right? And what should happen, and how does this project fit in with sustainability, right? And the need for more live workplaces, and for many of these big issues that our community has been battling for a long time, but maybe some of these issues that have been accelerated and we've seen worsen since COVID. How does this project fit in, and how do potential future projects you guys have fit in your sort of vision for development?
That's a really long conversation to have.
That's why I only ask the hard questions. I told you in the beginning that I would ask Chris all the easy questions and you all the hard ones.
I don't remember that, but okay.
All right, that did not happen. You're right. But there's a hard one for you, Jason.
Well, I think that's a very long conversation with a whole lot of people. But Chris and I's vision, we believe that development should enhance communities and not just give people places to live. And I think that's what we're trying to accomplish here. And a lot of people are like, well, this is a really cool project. It's so new and innovative. If you really think about it, every state street in America or main street in America was originally built like this, and people lived above their businesses, and that's kind of what we're hoping to bring back to downtown, and other communities as well. We're working on some projects in Monona, and some other communities in the area too, in Madison area. So, that is a really big question to unpack, and we probably don't have time today. But we do really want to. Chris, this is originally Chris's vision. I just kind of locked onto it, and I think he's got a beautiful vision, and I want to help him bring it to fruition. But the reality is, most development projects aren't wrapped around the community, and we're really trying to bring a communal focus on those developments.
Well, please go ahead, Chris.
Yeah. So just to add to that, Jason put it very well, but. We also have to look at 2 primary drivers here. One is transportation, either access to transportation, access to a way to get around, right? So if that's either the bus, the proposed BRT, we really are discouraging, private car ownership and private car use, as much as we can. We're also in the process of partnering with a comprehensive mobility provider for, through green cab, community cars, community bikes. But so that's one piece of the puzzle, right? We have to solve the transportation issue. Adding more cars and adding more parking garages is not the answer. And we know that. We just need to gradually move away from that. But then just proximity and the ability to meet your needs, meet an individual's needs just by proximity, right? So if you can bike or walk to a grocery store, if you can bike or walk to your office, or walk downstairs to get to your office, or go to Walgreens to pick up Band-Aids, it's just those are all the things that all get mixed together. We want a livable environment, right? We want a livable city. I don't necessarily think that adding more cars on the street and everything associated with that, it doesn't necessarily make it livable. And that's, just a quick aside, that streetery program, why isn't that permanent? It doesn't take anything away. And, so I thought that was a great move by the city. And I think that I'm hoping that once everyone realizes that, hey, you know what, this was all positive, there were no negative effects, that we'll start to see some more gradual execution of sort of reclaiming the streets for people.
Yeah, I think you certainly saw that, Chris and Jason. This last year, we were more creative with how we use public space. It should belong to everyone. And the streetery program, particularly, sort of one of the shining examples on Pinckney and King Street, Main Street, how vibrant that is even a year ago today, right? When we were in the middle of COVID, how still it was a vibrant and great place to be and outside. And, we want those to remain. And projects like yours help to fit within that transportation infrastructure and sort of, community that gets people around. So this is a great project. So one last question for you guys. How can our members help? And then what, I guess this is two questions. What's the timeline for the project? Where are you guys at in the project, and how can members help?
Okay, well, I can take the timeline question. So we were at UDC last Wednesday. So we received our final UDC last Wednesday, and we're at Plan Commission next week, but we're at Plan Commission only for the demolition of the building, not for the proposed project. So we did not need Plan Commission approval for the project because we did fit in the boundaries of UMX zoning. So shortly after that, shortly after next week, we'll be submitting all of our documents, and we're currently marketing this right now and making some minor revisions to make it even better and more interesting. And we're just really excited to get moving on it. So yeah, definitely a summertime groundbreaking without a doubt. So
well, Jason, yeah, please. How can we help?
How you can help? We have one reservation on this property already. We've been marketing, very lightly marketing for a couple of weeks, and we do have one reservation. How we can help is, I think obviously we want these units to be full, and we really want businesses in them if at all possible, whether those are offices or small businesses, small mom and pop type shops. That's what we're really hoping to have in there. So even when we did our MLS marketing, we held back a couple of units with the intent of hoping we can get some businesses in there. We think we can sell them all really easily just as condos, but we really want to liven up that street. So, anybody who's looking for space, something like that, or want to talk about that. The other thing, Chris and I, our brains never stop, and we're always open to people's ideas. Ingenuity. We want to talk to anybody who has an idea about how they can make their communities better as well.
I love it. Well, this is an exciting project for downtown. Thank you guys for your vision. Now, you're not going to get off easy though, because we do something called the Fast and Furious 5, where we ask you 5 fast questions about downtown Madison. You just whatever pops up in the top of your head. Are you guys ready? Didn't tell you about this beforehand. That makes it more fun. All right, Chris, what's your favorite restaurant downtown?
Nick's.
Ooh, good answer. All right, Jason, what is your favorite park downtown?
Oh, of course you'd ask me that.
Well, aren't you on the Parks Foundation?
I'm on the Madison Parks Foundation board, but I don't have them all memorized.
True. Brittingham, did you say? Brittingham's a great one.
Brittingham is a great one. Yes, they're all great, and I haven't been downtown enough to enjoy them recently.
Fair enough, but we'll go with Brittingham. All right, Chris. Not that every question's about food with you, but what's your favorite Babcock ice cream flavor?
Could you repeat that question?
What is your favorite ice cream flavor at Babcock Hall?
I'm not qualified to answer that question, so I'll pass.
Jason, do you have one?
No, but anything with chocolate and more chocolate is always my preference.
Perfect. All right. So then, Chris, we're going back to you. What's your favorite music venue in Madison?
Oh, I'll take that one.
Yeah, Jason can answer that one.
I love them all. You name it, Barrymore, Sylvie. But I think if I had my druthers, I probably had the most fun at Majestic and High Noon. Those two are just awesome small venues.
All right, we're not going to let Chris get off easy. I've got one more for you, Chris. All right, a visitor comes to town. What's the one place you send them to in downtown? The must go to in downtown for a visitor?
Nick's.
I guess we know where we're going to see Chris. So Chris is holding office hours at Nick's every Friday. So if you need to see him.
So yes. Nick's, then a walk to Monona Terrace, then a walk back, stop at Nick's again, and then go down to the Union. So it'd be
so when you're going to the Union, apparently you're not buying ice cream because you didn't have a Babcock flavor.
Yeah. So I'm not a native, so I mean, I understand the concept of the ice cream, of the Babcock ice cream. I assume it's good. I've never done it. So, but how about chocolate?
Apparently, Nick's is more your thing,
I've done that. I've done that walk, but it's usually because I had a couple of drinks at Nick's that I walked it off, and then I went back and had a couple more.
I love it. Well, thank you for supporting downtown. So to Chris Gosh, Populous, and Jason Iverson for Realty for Good, thank you both for being here. More information, let us know. Contact us at DMI. We can certainly get information about this great project to any and all of you. Thank you for all of you for joining us for this Downtown Download, and our friends at Carlson Black for all their support of DMI and the podcast. Thank you all for being here. We will talk to you soon. Have a great day.